head's in, you best get a wriggle on.
What?
Looks like she's not short of a bob or two, eh?
Yeah.
Nice wheels, by the way.
Oh,
Is it as good to drive as it looks?
usually, but it's sounding a bit funny lately, and they nearly cut out on my way in.
I could have a look if you want.
No offence, Dante, but I normally leave that to the professionals.
Dante was our site manager. He can fix anything, including freezer doors. Long story.
Well. Can I trust you with my baby?
100%. I'm your man.
Thank you.
Oh no, Sir's got woman problems in his life.
Give me that.
No, it's my property.
Ashton, give it me.
No.
Give it. Do you fancy a trip to the head's office to explain why you're filming a teacher? Stop being a tryhard, Ashton. You're not impressing anyone.
Just like that.
Yeah, well, he takes something of mine and I take something of his. Ooh, anyone fancy a spin?
No way I'm getting in a car with someone who's not old enough to buy fireworks.
Oh, ladies, look, this ain't my first time.
What are you thinking, man? That's a teacher's car.
I'm thinking, how about we take it for a test drive, yeah? Come on, just a little cruise round the block. Oh, jackpot! Wait, Dwayne, come on. Let's go.
You're gonna get in serious trouble.
Oh, I'll drive it back before he even notices. Look, Dwayne, this is your chance, okay? Show them you're not a beige flag, okay? You're the wild man. You're a wild man, Dwayne. Think about Alina, okay? You want her, and you've got to be a wild man. And this is the training. Are you ready, Dwayne? Mr. Charles, you've really done a number on me now. No teacher can talk about their wage when they're driving cars like this. Oh, but I can't really say I vibe with his music taste.
Can you even drive this thing?
Strap in, Dwayne. It's about to get wild.
Do we tell someone? Grass. If they want to kill themselves, that's their business.
Come on, money!
How many times did you say you've driven a car?
In a dream, once.
In a dream, yeah.
You're a wild man. We need to find some type of house and see what this baby can do. That was bang on, that.
Bang on! Bang on! Are you having a laugh, lad?
Don't be a girl. Oh, you want some of Mr. Charles's perfume?
Get off! What is wrong with you?
Okay, okay.
Oh, no.
What's that? Oh, let's have a look.
Mate.
Oh, what is that?
It's an MOT.
Oh,
For Stella's rate.
man, Stella, isn't she the head teacher?
No.
It's okay, it's okay.
Ashton, start the car. Go on.
Not work. I am. It's not working.
Ashton, go now.
I'm not
I
playing,
beg you.
Dwayne. I'm not joking.
Oh, screw this.
Stop. Dwayne. Wait.
Oi, Ashton. Oi, Ashton!
You know you can't lock me in here. I'll have you done.
Where's the car?
What are you on about?
I'm gonna ask you again, Ashton. Where's the car?
Let me out.
You just don't get it, do you? You're just some stupid, selfish kid. You know, this is my job. This is food on the table for my kids. This is everything that I've worked for. And you think I'm gonna let some stupid kid like you take that away from me? Yes, I'm your teacher and you are my pupil, but I'm telling you now, if I lose my job, if you cause me to lose my job, I won't be Mr. Charles anymore, do you understand? Do you understand? Can't believe you just abandoned a car in the street and think you'd get away with it.
You got a cover for me, yeah? That's what you said.
No, I never said that.
You said your job. You don't want her to find out either.
Yeah, of course I don't. She's gonna have me head for this. You stole the car and drove it round the block through houses and streets, Ashton.
It was just a stupid joke.
Someone could have been killed.
I wasn't even going fast. I was gonna take you back to school. Please, you don't get what's on the line for me.
What is on the line for you, Ashton?
My dad's gonna kick me out the house. He's already looking for an excuse. I won't have her home by tomorrow.
You just don't get it, do you? You can't go around doing stupid stuff and expect just to get away with it. I was just like you. Always messing around, always wanting a laugh. It wasn't until I got behind the wheel. And a good friend of mine died, my best friend. I wish I could say that back, but I can't. I've got to live with that every single day of my life.
I promise you, I won't do it again. I swear I've learnt my lesson.
But the only way you're going to learn a lesson is by facing the music.